is be prepared for either move and try to capitalize. And yeah, man. So I'm glad. What do you think's been the biggest help so far? I'm just trying to figure out how to make these better and better. So
Honestly, man, I'm a super noob when it comes to like any kind of trading, and I'm like older, so I think my like goals might be a little different. Like I'm not trying to get into this for like day trading or anything. I really want to learn like 1 hour or like 4 hour and 1 day charts, so I can get the
okay,
leverage things, make the day like, and do the trading on like I'm patient. I have patience. You know what I mean? So like I'm fine with that, with waiting around for the longer calls and it's kind of where I'm at. So I'm just trying to, honestly, like the first couple sessions were really great for me. Just to, like, I'm just trying to figure out how to, you know, find trend lines and shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
right?
like,
Yeah, 100%.
this is all gravy for me. Like it's all just straight learning. So I'm really digging it.
Nice, cool. I didn't make like new definitions and everything for this week just because the further I go a little bit, like obviously if I keep doing that, I think it's just going to get deeper and deeper, and I don't want to get too far ahead. I don't want to get to where things are getting difficult and too much. So this week, I kind of want to just do what we did last week, which was I did have some new definitions last week, but we will look at those definitions. We'll look at how to determine the higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, what they may indicate, and again, just establish those trend lines and just go through charts kind of like we did last week. Also, look at what Thor has call and updates. If anybody's having any difficulty with Thor, Sal just push some updates through. And so you may see something a little different or login be a little weird for like the next 24 hours or something, just while the updates are being pushed. But yeah, we'll go through and look at what Thor has done in the past week as far as where we left our charts off. Was there plays that we could have made? And what are plays that we could potentially be making right now? Let's see, we got a few more people joined in. What's up, y'all? Let me go make a tweet real quick just to let people know that we are live. I know some people do join in from the Twitter side, so let me jump on the CyberFrogs account real quick, say we live.
Or appreciate you guys even hosting this. It really helps out a lot.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and one of the things that's difficult when you're learning is, and especially trying to educate yourself, is depending who you're listening to and what their strategy is, it can be completely conflicting with the strategy that you're using already. A perfect example of that would be a Bollinger Band. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but basically it creates a line above and below the price. And in some strategies, when price hits the bottom of the Bollinger Band, you buy, knowing that price tends to return back to the median. And in other strategies, you wait until the Bollinger Band is breaking out of the top to buy, because you're looking to buy into the next significant breakout. So they're literally telling you, one strategy says buy when it hits the bottom. One strategy says buy when it hits the top. If you're buying every time it hits the top and the bottom, you're going to just fuck yourself. So you gotta, it's nice to review these charts and see these same lines and go over the same things and have kind of a source and of seeing the same thing instead of getting a bunch of different people saying a bunch of different shit, looking it up a bunch of YouTube channels. And I'm not saying that you can't learn like that or those guys aren't great. Like, I'm not taking away from anyone. I'm just saying it's difficult when you're hearing so many different things. You're like, wait, wait, what? Huh? And people using so many different indicators and all that kind of shit. So yeah, we want to keep it consistent till we get the basics down for sure.
Yeah, sounds like a plan, man.
And I finally have both my screens working, and I can hear you guys and you guys can hear me, so I can actually like look at the chat and shit while things are going too. So yeah. All right, first thing I want to do, does anyone have any questions? I want to go back to the Trader Tuesday review. That's one of the channels here, where you can see exactly where we left off on the Bitcoin charts, the Solana charts, the ETH charts, and the understanding time frames. Does anybody have any specific questions they want to ask about anything within the time frames, or or any of the trend identification? That was something I posted a couple 2 weeks ago. But all these things, the terminologies and the charts from each week are in the Trader Tuesday review. Does anyone have any questions they want to dive in specific with any of this before I just kind of fire off some shit?
So the Trader Tuesdays review tab, I'm either blind as a bat, but I don't see it on the side.
General chat Neo Tokyo. It's in the drop down tab of general chat Neo Tokyo. At least I hope you guys see it.
Okay. Wow, okay, my bad.
No worries, dude. Believe me, I get lost in Discord too. Like, especially because we've got a lot of channels in here because we got a lot of different shit going on,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But so yeah, each week. So what I'll do is when we leave off the stream this evening, I'll screenshot the charts and I'll do a write up and I'll post them on there. So you'll be able to look back at everything we talked about and look at the chart that we are reviewing right now and making any changes to. So you can kind of review it on your own time and kind of refresh on everything we talked about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I had a one request also. Um, would it be all right if during this session, if you could go through and show how to execute using Thor? I recently finally just got some capital, but I've been holding off on deploying it because I wanted to kind of get a visual grasp of how to properly use the functions on the dashboard.
Okay. Are you talking about the auto trade account or the manual?
The manual. I remember last week you showed, how Thor will have things set up, waiting, and then when it's ready, you can jump in on that call. Um, but I
Okay.
kind of yeah.
Let's go ahead
It can be
and
after it could be after you have after
no,
you're
this is
done.
actually a perfect time.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go to. So if I go to Thor, this is my Thor Pro. Okay. So this is going to look different than regular Thor. But we can do this. Is ARB on here? Arbitrum may not be on here right now. Oh yeah, no, I just got to scroll up. Okay, so Arbitrum 4 hour. There's been an active call for between $1.13 and $1.12 entry, right? And if you look at the chart, we tapped that zone and we went up and we got to about $1.19. We didn't quite hit that $1.21 take profit mark. And this is still an active call. And we actually right now are back in that zone between $1.15, or I'm sorry, $1.13 6 and $1.12 1. So if right now we hold a higher low, I'll put a horizontal line right here. You can see if this holds, we're actually holding a higher low, and we could move up to that 121 mark up here. So this was a call that was made a while ago and was actually entered and started, and I guess you'd say triggered back on the 7th. So a week ago, at 4 in the afternoon is when this call triggered. Didn't quite hit take profit, but we re-entered the zone again. And if we hold a higher low here and we have price action, hold this higher low and move up, we could then retest these wicks and stuff here and move up to that $1.21 area here. So what I mean by re-entering this call, there's no way on here to enter Thor. What you would do is say go to your Binance account and you would buy Arbitrum and then sell your Arbitrum at $1.21. You would go to KuCoin or Coinbase and buy Arbitrum and then sell it at $1.21 at take profit. So you don't interact with this with any money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think you were you
So
were you thinking that you interacted with it like with money into Thor?
well, I figure since the funds would already be in my wallet, that it would, automatically seize the call. Uh, so if you press act, well, like the ready where the RM is, when I clicked on that and I saw, setting up the trade, I wasn't sure exactly how to navigate it. So I was a little lost.
So what this will do is help you calculate your risk to reward, right? So if you're going for TP1, wait a minute. I think this is one of the things being updated. You'll input the quote of currency, the amount you are willing to lose. Let me see if it'll just do it. 50. So let's say or 10. I'm willing to lose $10 on this trade. Okay, calculate. So for a 1-to-1 risk to reward, which is basically a coin flip, right? Like 50-50. So you obviously want higher risks and rewards, right? So you would say buy 103 arbitrum at $1.12, and that would be your stop loss, and this is your take profit one. Now, this doesn't do anything automatically for you. You have to go to an exchange and make this trade, if that makes sense. It like Thor does not trade for you. There is
Okay.
the auto Thor, which the auto Thor, you put money in, and for the next 90 days, it's trading for you on all these signals unless you ask it to stop. And then it takes 48 hours to get your funds back.
Okay,
But
yeah, that makes sense. I had
yeah,
it wrong. I thought exactly what you just said. That yeah, that it would automatically make the buy-in.
right. And that's what a lot of people think. They're like, wait a minute, how do I use it? Where do I put the money in? And it's like, well, this is the manual trader, to where you can look at all these different tokens. And let's just stick with Arbitrum because we're here. If you're the 4-hour and the daily trader, look, here's another call on the daily. You can set up right now. You can go to Binance or whatever, or wherever, however you're trading, and you can set a buy order for $1 or 99 cents, say. And then if it buys it, you can set it to sell it when it hits $1.13. Or you can set, if you already have some Arbitrum, you can sell some of my Arbitrum at $1.54 and buy it back at $1.33.
But doing
But
so on the exchange.
yes, you do it on an exchange or on, say, if you're doing Solana, or you can use like Jupiter, or there's Drift Protocol. I personally haven't used Drift. I thought Andy was going to be available, but he's in the middle of moving and doing some shit. He had like literal shit happen at his apartment. But he's in the middle of some moving, so he's not going to make it tonight. He's used Drift, and I was hoping he would give us kind of like a live run through. I will use Drift this week, and I will next week live stream and say, okay, let's go make this Arbitrum trade right now. Here's how I do it. Here's how I log in my wallet. Here's how I buy it. Here's how I make the sell order for it. But like a lot of exchanges, or if you're a place that you can trade futures and perpetual contracts, a lot of times you can have it set up where you literally say buy it 99 cents, and if it does buy it 99 cents, be prepared to sell at $1.13, and you literally do nothing more but set it and forget it. So again, if you're that trader that's got just once to twice a week to look and not hardcore into it, stick to the 4-hour. And like I said, there's a 4-hour call that is active right now, in the entry range. But here are several calls on the daily that have not yet taken active.
All right, so yeah, whenever Thor places a potential call and it's waiting, I mean, as it suggests, just wait until it falls within that range that Thor suggests on the entry, and
Correct.
then when you see that, that's when you make your buy-in, and then where
So just like Thor has
TP1. Okay, yeah.
just
Now
like
now it's
Thor
good.
has this box here,
Yeah.
it puts the box where it's saying your entry would be. That's this entry.
Okay.
Um, and that's what you'll see me do on my charts
Yeah, I saw that
is
last week, but I wasn't too sure because I missed the very first week. I think you might have went over that, but when you were talking about the soul calls, so when I
yep.
had jumped in the week after, and you had already mentioned, if you got into that call, you made some profit. I was sitting here thinking, the heck does that even mean? But it makes more sense now. So
Yeah,
appreciate that.
basically I had this set up before or during this week, the first week you could have made entry. Actually, I think the first week was somewhere up here and we just missed this one. I think this hit and took profit at or right before the second week, came down. Then we had a 1 hour long call. It hit right here, took profit right there. And now, where we left off last week, we had a 15-minute and a 1 hour long, which still has not triggered yet. That was this call here. And now this week, I added this one in new for this week. We have a 4 hour long call for Solana. So if I go to Solana and I go to 4 hour, 22.73 to 2257 is my entry point. So here you can see 2557, 2273. And then I always make this box at TP1. I mean, sure, you can look at, hitting take profit 2 and 3 if you want, but I at least want to see take profit 1. And this helps me visually see where Thor may move, what it may do. It doesn't always play out, but seeing, where are you? Seeing, maybe this drop down into the zone and then reject, and move down something like this or whatever. You know what I mean? It helps you kind of see what Solana might do when I have these laid out. But yeah, so that's and if you, I don't remember offhand how many frogs you need to be in the Telegram group. I honestly can't remember right now, so I'm not going to say. But the Telegram group, it'll just bing Solana 4 hour call nearing the zone, and it'll let you know like you're within X% of this call. So you can go log into Thor, get on Solana, log into the 4 hour, see what your entry, see what your take profit is, and if it's a call that you think is worth taking. Um, and okay, what is your risk? Like I only want to lose $10, right? Well, then it'll tell me what I want to buy and where. So if I only want to lose, like my risk is $10, I want to buy 8.47 Solana at 22,573, put my stop loss here, and that'll make sure I don't lose any more than $10. Put my take profit at 23.754, let Thor go. And we, depending on the higher the time frame, JT, thank you. JT says it's only one frog for Telegram now. So if you, oh yeah, that's right. We update. All you got to do is be a verified holder. As long as you get on to the CyberFrog site here and verify as a holder, you can then join the Telegram, and it'll just ping you and let you know what signals are getting near the zone, so you can get ready to take them. What there was something else I was going to say before I saw that. What was it? Yeah, I don't know. If you use the free version of TradingView, I believe you can set up to 3. But what I will do is I will go to this horizontal ray here, and I'll say, this one's pretty close, so I'm aware of it. But say here, I'll put a horizontal line, and up here I'll go to this little add alert. Looks like a little alarm clock. Add alert, and I'll just say Sol 4-hour long. So if I get a ping up here in my alerts, it'll let me know Solana USD 4-hour long. So I can come say, okay, 4-hour long is triggered or is just about to trigger, and let me know if I want to take this call or not. But the Telegram saves you a lot of time from sitting here saying, okay, I'll look at AVAX. And you see there's no asterisks here. Well, I'll go to the next one just to show you what I mean. ADA, so you see the asterisks on the 4-hour. That means there is a call on the 4-hour. And here it is. If I go to Atom, nothing right now. BNB always has a shit ton. 4-hour and daily. So I can look at what are the daily calls. What are the 4-hour calls? So you can look by asset, you can look by time frame. So that's a good example here. So you can see we're looking at where the short is. Here's our short zones. If it hits here, you take your shorts. And if it enters this zone, which it got pretty damn close to, but still has not quite triggered, that would be a long. Actually, I do have in my personal trading account, I have this set up because this is a high percentage trade. Let's see, 1810 back up to 1830. Or not, it's okay. So it's 1%. I think I put leverage on that one, but I thought it was a pretty pretty healthy trade because the way you see these wicks. Wick, price shoots up. Wick, price shoots up. Price shoots up. Price shoots up. Price shoots up. We've been wicking out of this zone every time it comes down here. So if it gets in here, wouldn't surprise me if it wicked right back out. I think I put 10x leverage, so it would be a 10% trade. But then I got 10 times the risk too. So, but yeah, that's an example of how to look up an asset, see what time frames there's calls on, and then find the call on the side if you want to enter. And this will change to active, like we looked at arbitrum. It turns, instead of waiting, it becomes active. Any more questions? Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just saying thanks for that.
For sure.
Hey, Mode, I got a question.
Anybody else got? Okay, fire away.
Would you typically use leverage on a 4-hour? Or is that something that you do rarely, or just focus leverage on 15-minute, 1-hour time frames?
It depends on your risk tolerance. 4-hour calls can take much longer to play out. So it's definitely all up to your risk tolerance. I wouldn't do, even 10 is kind of fairly high, but it was just the way we've been wicking out of this zone every time that I feel like it's going to be a pretty strong call. What was that one? That was on ETH, right? We were talking about. Yeah, 1810 to 1830. And the other reason is because we're super close to it. So I can monitor this. And if by the end of the night, if this hasn't triggered, I may reassess. But it's because we are in that close area right now. And if you look, we are, in a downtrend, have been in a downtrend, and there's been strong rejection out of all of that zone. I mean, anytime you see there's only been one candle that closed within this price, and then we shot right back up out of it. So if we come down here, it wouldn't surprise me that we shoot right back up to the top and retest all those wicks before we either continue up or maybe even break down. So that would look something potentially like this. Come down, fill, come back up right here to the 30 mark, and either continue or hit and potentially drop down. Thor doesn't ever suggest leverage. Let me say that. Thor is a spot trading account. So it's saying buy Ethereum here and sell it at that price. It's saying buy Ethereum at 1810, sell it at 1830. If you have Ethereum, sell it at 1902 and buy it back at 1861. It's never suggesting leverage. I just did that because price is close. I can monitor it, and yeah. Any other questions on the dashboard at all or anything before we move on? One thing I should note, unless this has been updated, I don't think it has. It has not. Okay, so you saw I had all my drawings there on the 4-hour, and now they're gone. So the Thor dashboard isn't going to save, your trend lines and things like that. That's why even if you have a free version of TradingView, you can do all the things you see here. You can do everything. I think you may only be able to add just 3 alerts, but with the free version, you can, draw these boxes and everything like that, just like we've done here. So I would highly, highly suggest getting even the free version if you haven't already. Anybody got any questions on the dashboard? Go once, twice. All right. So this is a look at Thor Pro. So you can select an asset. You can select an asset. You can pick a minimum. Do you want to see all the calls for that asset, or you know what? I'm not really in it to try to squeeze all these percentages, and I can't use leverage because of where I'm at, whatever it may be. I only want to take calls that give me 5% or more. Okay. So now I know, oh, this is ETH BTC. Let me just switch to USD so the numbers will make more sense. Okay. So I only want to see calls that are 5% or more. So it's telling me if I have Ethereum, sell it at $2,050 and buy it back at 1877. Let's say, well, I don't have ETH. Let's say I don't have anything. I'm going to get rid of shorts. I just want to see calls that are 5% or more and long. So what can I buy? Okay, here we go. I can set a buy to buy ADA at 25.28 and then sell it at 28.3. Okay, there's a long call I can take. Arbitrum. All these calls, all these long calls right here, this active call. This is okay. That's why I said the only reason I bought into this Arbitrum call, even though it had already gone to $1.19, which is damn close to $1.21. If it held that higher low like we were looking at in the chart, we look at the Arbitrum. Here's the active call. If we look at the chart, you know, our entry zone was it 112 to 113, right? Yeah, something right in here. This is holding a higher low right now. Horizontal line. If I take a horizontal line right here at the low, you see we're still holding the higher low. So the fact that as of right now, we are holding the higher low, showing wicks out of the zone, and the fact that this trade was a 7% gain. I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going for it. So that's what the one I was thinking when I said this is a nice big trade, and that's why I got into it now, even though it's you'd think it's a little late since it hit $1.19, not that $1.21. Did it top out? I don't know. Is it just going to retest? We'll see. It can often do that, as you'll see with this 4-hour long on Solana. We came in the zone, then left. On this 1 hour, was it ETH maybe or Bitcoin? We had another one. There's a 4-hour. Yeah, this one we left the zone, came back in the zone, and then went to take profit. And there may have been one on Bitcoin as well. Oh, this 1 hour call here. Tap, and now he tapped again. So this is a call we had set up on our charts last week. This 1 hour call here is one I just added for this stream. Now you see Bitcoin's in a bit of a wedge. You know, we had a wedge here as well. You know, price coming down and price coming up. And when we found that higher low, we got a way bigger higher high. When we broke trend, could we have the same thing here? We've got to wait and find out. Or are we going to break this and maybe come back down here and test this trend line, or maybe just go into a new downtrend for who knows how long? But you can see when we break the wedge, this is obviously a massive wedge, but we break, found support, and you could draw these wedges over and over. You can see pretty much each time it breaks. And same with going up. So when you break a downtrend, you can connect the lows for your uptrend. Break a downtrend, connect your lows for your uptrend. And as you see, some of them are longer, shorter than others. And you often get a break and a retest. Break, retest. Break, retest. Break, retest. Break, you can find these patterns over and over. Break, retest, and then went into a longer downtrend, right? Break, retest. So what are we going to get on our new wedge here? Are we going to get it to come down in the zone, break, and then retest and move up? Or we could see break, resistance, break, retest. But usually when you break a trend line of some direction, you'll have a retest. Okay, so you remember this. So if you look at this trend, you have the break, and the break, if you didn't get out on the break, you can look to get out at the retest. If you didn't get in on the break, you can look to get in on the retest. And when I have a Thor call that lines up, where the fuck are my boxes? Give me my boxes. When I have a Thor call that lines up, usually they're here. They're usually on that first higher low signal. And if I can catch it and then you find support, you're like, oh yeah, this one's going to play out. They'll usually be in here like that, the Thor calls. Not always, not always. Here's a call. What did we set here last week? We said if this call went active, we had just set, we were looking at potential ranges. Because look, what are we talking? That's why we were talking about. That's why we were talking about. Because we got the break, right? And we said you could enter at the retest. So now that we have a couple lines, if we find support here and we wick out, because it looks like we could be finding support there, this could potentially be our line. So that would be the break. This would be the retest, right? Basically about where it is. So you can calculate what if you were to enter now, what is your risk? What percentage of your trade are you willing to lose? Say if I'm only willing to lose 2%, that's all I'm willing to lose on a trade is 2%. Okay, I'll set this 2%. I want a trade to be at least a 2-to-1. So better than a coin flip, or let's say 3-to-1. Where does my profit need to be? There's about a 3-to-1. That's not even breaking higher highs. Okay. But that's you'll find again these patterns. When you find the break of a trend, you can kind of connect your lows. So I think I stated before it would have first been, here and here would have been my initial trend line as my uptrend. But then when I see, okay, we got support here. Okay, we've got support here. I would have updated my trend to match those lines. So here would be my trend. But when you get lower high, and now, here was our low. Now we have lower low. This is indication we could keep seeing lower highs, lower lows. Same thing. When all of a sudden you get a lower high, that's an indication you may be starting a new trend. You got a lower low, now a new lower high. Yeah, we're probably in a downtrend. Vice versa, when all of a sudden the low is, you got a higher low, and now you've got a higher high. If you're going to hold the higher low, that could be a good sign. So what do we have here? We've got, oh, shit. I think I can get rid of that now. That would be higher high. So here's our low. This would be a higher, or still a lower high. This would be a higher low. And now we've got a higher high. This would be a higher low. Could still be looking for the higher high. And these, price is going to do all kinds of shit. Like, so price can do like this, and still be making this basic pattern, if you see what I'm saying. So price can do all kinds of wacky shit and still be following this basic pattern, if that makes sense. And this is the difference of, are you looking at the pattern on a 15-minute time frame that's just going fucking up and down and up and down, or are you looking at the longer overall pattern of the 4-hour daily, whatever? This is a perfect example of how to look at the difference in time frames right there. This is a 15-minute time frame, whereas this would be the 4-hour time frame. Those of you just joining in, or just a refresh, last week I did post in the Trader Tuesday review. It was about time frames. I don't remember if it was 2 pages or 3. I think it was just 2. But it was what does a lower high mean? What does a, higher low, higher high? How do you establish these? What is an uptrend? What is a downtrend? How do you establish them? And then this picture here. So you can look at specifically this. And then we went through the chart last week and identified. I can't grab on this chart anywhere. I've got so much shit on it. So we went over how to identify, there's your lower low, lower high, here's your higher low. So that's the last high, here's your new high. So it's a higher high. Here's your new low, that's the last low. So it's a higher low. And when you're continuing higher highs and higher lows, you're in an uptrend. When you start having lower highs and lower lows, see this high point is lower than this one. This low point is lower than this one. That lets me know I'm probably in a downtrend. Now, have we broke out and are starting the uptrend, we'll find out. To me, it looks like we very well could if we are finding support and making now anywhere in here a higher low. Any questions on time frames or looking at this? And does this make sense of this is what price is doing the whole time, even though you're looking at the overall pattern? Here's perfect example. You see how many ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs, but you see the main pattern. I think there's one even called. There we go. I think there's one even called zigzag. There you go. So, wow, that's got a lot of shit on it. So, but you can see it's drawing in that price line or that zigzag, the dark blue line. See the dark blue line it's putting in? That's showing the higher highs and telling you what was the price of the higher high, what was the price of the lower low, price of the high, price of the low. So now, you can add a few indicators with the free version. I don't remember how many, but I'm 99% sure zigzag is a free indicator. And now you can look and see, okay, dot, dot, and draw your lines between them. Okay, we have resistance, and it labels it for you. Bam, bam. Now draw your line between them. It's just called zigzag. But that can help you identify these. Let me go to a different chart, one that doesn't have that on it. So if I turn on zigzag, there you go. There's the higher highs, higher lows. And you can see the W patterns like I was talking about, and how they take their time to play out. But you can connect, you can connect the tops. And then when you break out, you can connect the bottoms to know kind of how long that trend is going. Some of them last longer, or you can look at longer time frame. You can look at this is a downtrend all the way from up here, and you can literally establish that from the very first 2 points. All the way back here, you could have drawn this line to let you know this is downtrend. And if you're looking at it in that long of a time frame, you have the break here, and you have the retest here that's the higher low. Bam, there's your entry point right there. Now you could be looking at this. We're starting to see, okay, this was the last low. This is still a higher low if it holds here, but if this doesn't make a new higher high, we're probably going to start a downtrend. This is a free indicator if you want that gives you that zigzag. And just look up YouTube or take some time. You can find the settings do you want to see all the lines, or which lines do you want to see? It'll matter on which chart you're on too. I don't want to see the labels. I just want to see the lines. Okay, there you go. There's your zigzag chart of higher highs and lower lows for you to help draw your trend lines. Any questions about the trends, trend lines, ship from last week or whatever. Holy fuck, I can't believe it's been an hour already. And then we'll get into what Thor has called for this week, or look at the charts from last week, see what's happened and what Thor says now.
I think we all might be set unless anyone else has a question.
Well, you got about 10 seconds while I pack this bowl to decide if you got any other questions.
Oh shit, what strain you smoking?
Little puff pass, you know what I'm saying?
This is what's up, Rumty? This was called Cap Junkie. Never fucking heard of it before.
Yeah, that sounds funky as hell.
Cap Junkie, and I also got a little bit of peanut butter banana, which is another one I never fucking heard of before. But that I think I'm a big fan of the peanut butter banana. That's just bang.
Hell yeah. I had some mango peanut slushies. Shit tastes amazing.
Wow, the names now is just fucking crazy.
So many hybrids.
Oh yeah. And most of them still got White Widow in them somewhere. All right, let's see here. Let's go to Bitcoin. Last week when we left off, wow. I left these lines just so this is exactly what we left off on. We have a 1 hour call here that looks like it's entered, and 29,658 would be the take profit. So I go to Thor. Let's see if it's still calling that as a valid. And just because it doesn't always have it as valid doesn't mean it's not going to still play out. Is this the call? 28,922. No, that's a little bit lower. So that's that's right. That's the call I added in. So we said last week we could see enter this call, or we could see price come down into this zone down here and maybe break out, or maybe reject again and break down. And Thor has made a call. Look at that, directly between my two potentials. So that makes me feel like maybe I'm right every once in a while. I don't know why this isn't an active call anymore. Maybe because it reject the zone and got high enough, and this was the take profit zone, so it said, hey, we missed this pump. Thor was calling for this pump right here, and it may not be showing as an active call because it said, hey, we missed it, like that was the call or that was the move, we just missed the entry by a little bit. But I have seen many invalidated calls still hit take profit point. So you could very easily still see that move take place. I wouldn't count it out, especially if we're finding support here. The RSI is low, but not bottomed. We're just below neutral level on the RSI too. So this is kind of saying this could take a gentle swing up before maybe coming back down some. So yeah, that's our potentials right now. I'm gonna just move these to clean it up so we're not looking at so much shit. But you see, this is still our resistance and support, just like we were talking about before. breaking out of the wedge or ultimately just continuing to break down. Who is that? Yo, Bitpunk, you mind muting? You got some background feed coming through. Thank you. Feel free to jump in and ask any questions or anything, man. This isn't like not like you got to stay muted the whole time. Just had some background noise coming through. Yeah. So that's where we left off last week, was with this 1 hour call, and we were getting super close to it, and it looks like Thor made the pump, or I'm sorry, Bitcoin made the pump. We just missed the Thor call. And one of the reasons you can see right here is the low, and we've now made a lower low. Maybe that's the reason that it's invalidated, because we now have what? We have our high, we have a low, we have a lower high, and we have a lower low. So what are we anticipating? A lower high, but that could still hit the zone and be a lower high. So invalidated calls, it doesn't always mean it's not going to fill out. It's just saying Thor saw something that it's not as confident as it was, and what it saw is it made a pump and made a higher low, and we've now made a lower low. But it's okay, because we have an entry, and look how this plays out a lot of times too. I'll connect the top and the top, and look how close, not quite, but you can connect the tops pretty evenly most of the time. And that could be a shorter term downtrend, right? If you look, it's a much smaller wedge. Like in the grand scheme, you barely see these moves, right? So I would think we're in a downtrend until we break this resistance, and then ultimately this line here. But we could, it's just as likely the price could come down, break our uptrend line, or support line, not find support. Again, now we have a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then maybe now we get the higher high, or I'm sorry, the higher low, and then a higher high, and start the pattern over. That's what it usually does, is it usually goes in a pattern and retests levels, Okay, so let me just clear some of this shit, and we'll look at. This is what we got. We've got an active. Thor's not calling it active anymore, so take it for what you will. But it looks like we are finding support, and let's go to shorter time frame. We'll even jump into the 15. What are we seeing? Well, right now I'm seeing a higher low. If we come up and we have a higher high, retest this zone, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, retesting the zone again. And then you can see how we rejected with this strong wick right there. That would still be right in play. And then maybe find the lower high and the lower low and break down. It's not out of play yet, but it depends how far you zoom in. How far in the chart are you looking to see your pattern? This is 15-minute, but we are seeing support right here. We've wicked out of the zone, and we're potentially looking at a higher low right now. But if you go to the 4-hour chart, like, where the hell is that? Where did all that happen at? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's one candle. What do you mean? So that's the difference in looking at time frames. If you look at time frames, it's just 2 candles on the 4-hour instead of how many candles is it inside of this box in the 15-minute. Right? They could be looking at downtrend like that. Well, we see the break and retest, which would be the higher low. Don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But if we don't, Thor is confident that when we get down to 2,000, I'm sorry, 28,920 and 28,875, that we're going to make a pump and retest 29,230. Any questions on Bitcoin before we move to Sol? Yo, Leverage Apes, what's up, man? Glad you could join in with us.
Yeah, man. First time I see the little guy, that shows that you guys are all in here. I'm always all crazy, but no, nice to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, man. We try to do it every Tuesday. I'd love to have a stream with you at some point, because you know, you're obviously knowledgeable. Andy gives a lot of respect to you and what you're doing. But we're really going back to basics right now. And if you look in our Tuesday Trader review, it's a channel underneath the general chat Neo Tokyo. We talk about time frames, the differences in them. We talk about trend lines, how to establish them. What's the difference in a long and a short, and what does Thor mean at TP and SL? You know, so we're kind of taking it back to basics, and each week we leave the chart exactly. So I'll leave the chart exactly like this when we end stream. So, and I'll do a write up and post it in there so people can know. Just like people knew they could have taken this and hit take profit. When we looked at Solana, moving on to Solana, you know, we just missed this 1 week. That was a killer short. But if you were watching stream, you would have caught this 4-hour long. And then the following week, if you were watching, would have caught this 1 hour long. Take profit. And right now we have one we're very close to, and we have a 4-hour long as well.
Oh, nice, dude. I have 222, but I don't usually wait to my total targets. I always front run myself.
It's hard not to, isn't it? It's hard to like. Well, it looks like it's starting to find support, but the thing is, and you know this as well as I do, you are then really eating into your risk to reward, or having to move your stop loss up. So if you're entering too early and then keeping your stop loss too close, a lot of times you could be getting stopped out where you should be buying in, you know? And that's where the patience of Thor is fucking golden.
Yeah, it's great, man. I mean, yeah, I won't talk too much, but yeah, no, this is great. No, I've been in a couple different trader chats today, and I'm like, there's so much alpha, man. God.
That's good, dude. I'm glad to see people are learning as well as spreading knowledge. And that's ultimately just what we're trying to do on these. But yeah, dude, if you got any questions or something to add, this isn't like, hey, everybody, just like listen to me give a presentation. This is open talk. This is me to help everyone that's interested. So, fucking right, just here to learn and chill with the Bronx community for a while. But let's go to Soul here. Just to check to see if there's anything active on them. So that 15-minute and 1 hour is no longer a validated call. And it could be, I don't know why. Don't know why Thor decided that this call is not valid anymore. But this is where we left off last week. As you can see, it tapped super close so far, but it doesn't mean it won't play out. I'm going to leave it here anyway, just to see if it plays out. But our new valid and active call, again, if you go to Solana, you go to the time frame drop down, you'll see the asterisk next to the 4 hour. That means there is a call within the 4 hour. And it's calling for your entry point at 22.7 to 22.57 and your take profit at 23.75. So that's what I have laid out here. Basically, your entry 22.73 to 22.57, and your take profit would be up here at the end of this box at 23.18. So I've also got myself a little alert that'll trigger. You'll see that little alarm clock. That's telling me I have an alert on this line. And that'll let me know, hey, we're getting in this target range for where Thor is calling for this 4 hour long once long. And again, if all you need is one frog and to be verified, and you can join the Telegram. And the Telegram group will ping you and say 4 hour long on Solana, just like this alert would do for me, except, obviously I had to set this manually. It'll do it for you consistently through all the different assets. But this is where we left off last week. We had just broke the zone. And again, what are we looking at? If this holds, that could be the higher low, or even if we come down into here, I'll draw a little horizontal line again. I'll keep it light. But there's our low point, right? So if I put it right with the low, hopefully you guys can still see that. I just don't want it too bright on the chart here. But that's our low. So we've got the higher low. This was our high. So we have a high, a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high. Are we going to get the retest, the break, the retest with a higher low, and potentially go up? Again, see when you break a wedge, break, and we got the retest right here. Then we got the next higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Way the fuck higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That's how you establish your uptrend and your downtrend. The trend is your friend until the end. So, if you're in this downtrend, man, it's a good time to be short or waiting to buy until when? Until the end. And you don't know that this is the end. You could have thought this was the end, and then it dropped its ass out. You know, you could, is this the bottom? Well, no. Well, we got the higher low and we've broke trend. That looks like that was probably the bottom, right? You know, how do you know this is going to be the top? You could have thought this was the top right here. You know, you could have thought this was the top, because if you're looking close, we've got a low, we got a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. But, you know, ultimately, in the longer time frame, you're still in the uptrend. So the trend is your friend until the end. Try to establish the trend and ride with it. Any questions?
Yeah, it's a good
on?
model.
Yeah, it's
DCA in, DCA out. Yep.
Yep. Well, that's a really good example too of what Thor. Let's see here. I'll pull up the auto trader in a minute, and you'll see how it buys on the way. Buys on the way down. Like it'll buy, and then it'll sell. But what it's selling here is what it bought here. What it's selling here is maybe what it bought there. You know, what it's selling here is what it bought right there. So it's like always buying down and always selling up. Always buying that, like buying down. So it was buying a lot in this range. And it's already taken some profits here. I'll pull that up in a minute to show you guys. Yep. And we went over what is DCA, dollar cost averaging. So if you bought Solana at $25 and then you buy some Solana down here, hopefully at $23, your average cost of Solana is now $24. So that's why you buy on the way down to dollar cost average, lower your average price of what you're holding, and then sell on the way out. But yeah, here's what we're looking at for Solana right now. What should I do? Let's make this maybe I'll put like a bright red line around it to show that these were no longer valid. No longer valid calls. But could still play out. I'm curious to see if we enter this zone, if we hit this take profit point. So I don't want to erase it just yet. I want to see what happens. Or maybe Thor's not calling for it because it says, hey, we found support here. We're probably going to blow right through this. And when we do get in here, we're probably dropping further. That could be it too. Thor maybe was thinking price was going to do this. Get the fuck off it. And instead price did this. You know, it could just say, hey, since we didn't get as low as we thought, we're probably not going to, and once we do, we're going to hit the zone and drop right through it. Not really sure. Thor has its own risk to reward or risk tolerance in what it considers an acceptable trade. And Thor has seen something to where this call is no longer within that risk to reward threshold. So I've got my time set for the 4 hour. ETH, we left off with, I think, several calls on ETH last week. The prior weeks, we didn't really look at ETH, but when we were on stream last week, we didn't have any calls for Bitcoin or Solana, so it was a little boring. So I worked up the ETH chart. ETH has been printing. I think that this one happened, I believe, right before we started the streaming. I think that may have happened right before we started streaming, or it happened right as we did. This call you could have made and entered for sure. Maybe you could have entered that one. That's why I have the arrow there. This call you could have entered for sure. This call we had on stream for a while, you could have entered for sure. And these were the calls that were given to us last week, was this daily and these two 4-hour shorts. Neither of them have triggered. I believe they are both still valid. 4-hour, there's our two 4-hour shorts. And now we have a 4-hour long, so which I have added the long, but you can see these go back week. These two 4-hour shorts were made last week. This is the 4-hour long made now, and the daily short. If we go back and we go to daily, there's our daily short call up here at 2050. So up here at 2032 to 2050. So we're getting pretty close to this long call here. And if we look at time a little closer, you can see we have tops, So you have a downtrend, and you can even potentially establish a little steeper trend with top and top, and see if we maybe get a little something like this where we come up, come down, retest in these zones, and work our way up. Because from here we could break out or we could still break down. But Thor's just confident if we get to this range, we're at least going to retest up here before we either break out or we break down. So this is your play for ETH. If say you want to set something up, you could go ahead and set a long call for this zone, buy it at 1809, set to sell 1830. You could also set 1898 to sell short, and 1861 is your profit, and let it go. And at some point, Ethereum is going to hit one of these, as long as they both say validated signals. But again, it's all what time frame you're looking at as to, and this is the 4-hour. So what that means is every one of these candles represents 4 hours of price action. But this is our calls for ETH right now. And
Super awesome.
appreciate that. Thor is the star, man.
No, but what you're doing is actually it's the honey. Yeah, good, dude.
I appreciate that. We're just trying to. What we want with frogs is people to be able to buy a frog, have access to Thor, and just be a competent and confident trader, right? We just want people to, if you buy a frog and you at least learn the basics and learn how to protect yourself, and risk management is one of the big definitions we went over, and you'll hear us pound risk management over and over. Because if you don't risk your management, you're not going to have anything left to earn with. So
100.
yeah, and so we just want people to be able to buy a frog and be able to learn the basics and learn how to be a competent and confident trader in making this work. And I'm super excited too because we have the Master Series coming out from Hunter, which is Sile's partner in creating Thor over the past 10 years. So having the creator of it for 10 years come out with a master class on how they use it and how to trade with it, man, it's gonna be fucking dope. I'll tell you what, again, Thor is a spot trade. But what Sile will tell you how to use it, and I don't want to speak for him, but you would buy on the 4 hour and the daily lows, take profit, and if you want to hold, like if you believe in Ethereum and you want to grow more Ethereum, you would sell some of your Ethereum here and buy it back. You would sell some of your Ethereum here and you would buy it back. So, or if you just want to hold your Ethereum, here's where you'd open a short to just make a little more USD. If you believe Ethereum is going way back up, to these ranges, why would you want to buy Ethereum at 1809 and sell at 1850 when it could be going back up here? But you could open up a short in that time frame or sell just a small portion of your Ethereum here. And by selling a small portion of your Ethereum here, you could have 2% more Ethereum when at that buyback or that take profit. So Thor is looked at as a spot trader, but we also know we have to have some risk management, and that's where this comes in, the RM. What's your risk management? What are you willing to lose per trade? Let's say I'm willing to lose $50 per trade. Calculate it. Okay, so if I want to take this ETH call, this short, here's my risk and reward offerings at $50. So I sell 0.32 ETH at this price, and this is where I set my stop loss. Or I buy a little bit more ETH and I have tighter stop loss. Or I'm sorry, tighter stop loss because this is a short. Same thing, little bit bigger even. Great. I can buy even more ETH, but even tighter stop loss. That way my risk is still only $50 for entering this trade of Ethereum at this price. So this is your risk to reward calculator. You can find it next to every call. Every valid call, long or short. You know what I mean? So your longs, this may make a little more sense. If I'm willing to risk $50. So I buy 3.54 BNB. My stop loss, I buy it at 218. My stop loss is 203. Or if I want a higher reward, but still the same risk, 4.27 BNB at 218. So it's still the same price entry, 218, but my stop loss has moved from 203 up to 207 because I bought more and I'm only willing to risk the same. I don't want to risk more. you know, and if I want to step up even higher, so this is basically a 50-50 at this point.
It's 1:30.
What's up, bro? Maybe you weren't chiming in with us. If you were, jump back in. But so you see, you're buying a larger amount, but your stop loss is moving up. You know, you're still making your entry at 218, but is your stop loss at 210? Or are you entering at 218 and your stop loss at 203? Depends on your risk to reward tolerance. How much are you willing to lose? 50. And then it tells you how much to buy and where your take profit is. So this is a really, really good tool to help you manage your risk to reward. Figure out how much you're willing to lose per trade. Let's say I'm only willing to lose $20. Calculate. Okay, so if I want to make this entry at 218 and I want to exit at 232, I'm only willing to lose $20. Okay, so I'm going to buy 1.42 BNB at 218. So if I want to make it to take profit too, you can move your stop loss changes. See if you watch the stop loss. 200 is the stop loss here. 203 is the stop loss here. Because I'm calculating a shorter reward, right? A shorter reward at 1. If I'm increasing my reward, it slightly increases my risk or where my stop loss can be. It changes your ratio of risk to reward. I should say it that way. Any more questions on the risk calculator or anything? Or actually, I mean, it's been an hour and a half. We've gone over all the charts. Any questions on anything at all? Like, let's just open up, have a free talk session. Anybody have any questions about anything? I think I've pretty much covered everything that I kind of had in mind.
Hi. Hi, I have a question about the Thor professional. So, yeah, how are there only these pairs available, or can I choose a new one, another one?
So these are all the pairs that are available. It's going to be, and we're going to continually add more, but these are all the pairs that are available right now. And depending how the market goes and how particular coins do and everything else, I believe Andy said we're trying to have it to where it'll show the top 100. And then, you know, obviously we have some other coins that just make big moves and things like that in here as well.
Okay.
So what you can do is, you know, you can add, you know, let's say you only want to look at layer 1. So you want to look at ADA, you want to look at AVAX, you want to look at ETH, you have ETH BTC, or just ETH USD. You know, Matic layer 2, Solana, you know, so you can look at the layer ones and look for longs, and we'll just say all so we get more calls. Well, I want at least 2%. Okay, there's my 2% calls. But you can't add new coins to this list if that's what you mean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Just filter through. Let's see what I want to see what Trump is doing. Since we had that call. That's still active. Let's break it down to 15, see what we got. So on the 15, we are starting to see higher lows, at least for right now. But again, this is just on the 15, so that could change. But looking at the 4-hour, here is our entry zone. You know, this was the first time we tapped our entry zone back here. But it's still showing this as a valid call. Let's look at it on Pro, since we looked at it on regular before. Arbitrum, 4-hour long, is active right now. Take profit at 1.21. So that's what we got. 121. We're just damn close. Probably drew it on a big chart, couldn't see it. There we go. Oh, fuck. I did the wrong thing. So we'll see if this plays out. I am in this call. So hopefully we continue to move on up. Yeah. Anybody else got any questions or anything, or want to look at any coins or anything that we haven't didn't talk about? You know, Bitcoin, Sol, ETH.
Omi.
OMI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's OMI, right?
Yeah. There's Ecomi, but Omi's the ticker, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what exchange to look on. Gate.io probably has a little bit of volume. We'll go to that. Oh, I got charts on there already. Old shit. Right. So we'll go to that. Wow, that was a big move there.
Oh, yeah, bro. Big announcements recently.
But let's go.
Still down bad,
Let's
you know,
start
but
on
so is
the
everything.
Whew, yeah. Everything's down bad.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
down. You go to the 4-hour. I wonder how big some of these swings are. They look giant. So, like, what date is this? This was 17th of June. This was the 2nd, so 2 weeks later. What is that move just from? That's not even bottom to high. We'll just say here at the retest to here on the break. Oh, just 47%.
Casual, you know, pocket change move, you know.
No big deal. You know, connect the top. But here, when we got the break, we actually did have a lower low. So, might have missed maybe that first call. But, yeah, it makes big moves when it moves. top.
And the communities die hard behind it, and it's just an emotional community, you know. So you can see that in the trades.
Yeah. I don't know how much volume it really gets, but man, yeah, could have looked at that. But here, you know, you got what looks like a low and a break, but you didn't hold the retest or you didn't get the higher low. So, you know, then you can just kind of connect that. And same thing. It's like you got the break, but you didn't hold the retest. You got a lower low. So now you did get a break. Now you got the higher low. And like I said, just because you break an uptrend doesn't mean you're going in a downtrend. Just because you break a downtrend doesn't mean you're going in an uptrend. You could go in a slower uptrend or a slower downtrend, or you could go straight sideways. You never really know. But right now, you know, first I would have put here and here to establish my trend. Obviously, riding along and finding support there. But you know, I would certainly have that. I mean, you could even look at going way steeper if that ends up holding. You know, you could.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably even maybe go like this to say I want to hold at least that line.
Yeah. Where is that at for that line you just drew for when it hits back down?
Say again.
Like if it just dropped back, like say it goes a little bit, you know, to the right, like a little bit of time passes, like yeah, like what's like right around there? What price is that? Let's see.
772.
Okay.
Triple lot 772.
All right. I'm just getting
and then, you know,
getting an
you
idea.
could be looking anywhere to find support.
Exactly.
As long as you find support, and it wouldn't surprise me really if it.
I think it could break that depending.
This is just such a big.
Yeah, dude. There were a lot of announcements, a lot of things that came out, but you know how it is in crypto and NFTs and everything. So
yeah,
but it was a lot of bullish news for the token itself in the entire project. So that contributes.
There. That was that top also right there. So then we got some movement in here, which is equal to that. The next zone would be, see how thick it is right through here, and what's that? 886 is the price. So become 886. I think we'd probably retest at least that zone here, which we come down and then retest this zone. That's a lower high, and then we could maybe come down, retest and refill this, you know, and still be on the way up. That's still in the grand scheme higher lows. But this is just a super steep.
It's a super pump. This was it's like a 40% move in like 24 hours.
Yeah, this isn't very sustainable. Like
no, not at all. No, I'm waiting on it to come back down.
1 4-hour candle is close to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm saying it could break this.
I think it will most definitely break that. Exactly. Yeah. And that's where I'm going to be aiming to enter. No, not financial advice. Anybody's listening.
Yeah, I would look at the wicks. You see, wicks, no price closed in here, no price closed in that. We haven't retested this yet. So
like where your line went, that last arrow, like where that last arrow ends, that's where I'm looking.
Right
somewhere here? Around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think, yeah. You're going to retest at least this wick in the base of this candle
Yeah.
at some point.
And
Again,
I mean, if nothing else
that.
comes out, you could go down to that support line down there for sure. Like
Right,
break that
and
box and go down.
especially with a little bit of time.
100%. Yeah, and you know how it is with crypto and NFTs.
Yep, and even if you came down here and retested this, you're still holding the higher low.
Yeah.
Here's your low, higher low, and still in a bullish pattern. You know,
Yeah.
this is, again, like you said, this is just super pump. This is
It's a super pump.
But I'd look to re-enter that zone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Price is gonna.
That's why I wanted to see what you said around here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You the GOAT.
For sure, homie. We got a short time frame too. Yeah, that looks like it wants to come down. Is it there's your low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low.
Yeah.
Probably lower high.
I was surprised that after the first pump out of that green box you have, like the green candles to the left, I was surprised it kept going, to be honest.
Well, that's got to get the people FOMOing.
Yeah. I mean after not that top green, the one on the left, like the initial pump from like dead. Yeah, I was surprised that it went up past that.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing.
Because I took profit there,
This could be manipulation, even.
Yeah.
And
FOMO.
Market makers taking price advantage of this, knowing that they're going back to retest this range.
Very true, yeah.
Right? Just because they wicked in and out, even on the short time frame. Look, nothing really closed inside of it.
Yeah.
It's just
and it wasn't even a ton of money that came in. It's just like such a relatively small market cap. So when money goes in, it just fucking shot to the moon.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I would think price will come down, and if it gets down in that box and holds it, could be looking at another pump, and I mean that is a big fucking move, but
yeah, it was a long time coming for some news ultimately, and they dropped some news and big insights, and the community really loved obviously what they heard. So.
What token is that?
Speculation is what we're in, but also look at this. See the RSI down here? That motherfucker is topped out.
Oh yeah, look at that shit.
We need to cool the fuck off a little bit. Just
Mount
like
Everest.
Here. So we need to cool off, and you can see it rejected. Got somewhat reasonable. Still very bullish. Still way up above the neutral line. Still very bullish, but not way the fuck over here.
Yeah. This is Ecomi. I think it was Young US. Ecomi. The ticker's OMI. OMI.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yep.
Wait, which token was that again?
Ecomi. You look up here in the corner, but the ticker is OMI.
Oh, okay.
What was it, Rumpty? Is that the Disney one or some shit, right?
That's the utility token behind ultimately Disney getting into NFTs.
Damn, for real.
Yeah, not financial advice. You need to look into shit if you're actually looking into it. So.
Well, let's look at the whole chart for it real quick.
Yeah, and definitely wait for a retrace because it just pumped to Valhalla. So.
Well, let's look at what it's done speculatively.
Yeah, and that was in the last bull run is what we're going to see, the fucking craze.
It's only 840%.
Only.
Off. Yeah. Yeah, 840.
And they have a lot of plans, to use it within that app. that I've showed you. So things could get really interesting, but you know, it's always speculation. So
Yeah, I would look at it like kind of like that until we. But if you connect the top, right?
Yeah.
To get rid of some of the shorter time frame. No, we're looking at a longer. You can see we had a break. Was this our break? And this our retest? We got the higher high. Are we going to hold the
so
higher
we'll see
low?
where it goes. Yeah.
And let's just say we start moving up enough, retest this, and then hit resistance ultimately here, right? In the zone, hit resistance. We're still hitting resistance on this line. So we're not saying,
where is that
yeah,
at? 1,
really?
2. Yeah, 0, 0, 1, 2. Yeah.
Dude, that's a hell of a fucking move.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big move and still in downtrend, really.
Yeah.
45%.
Yeah, and I mean, it really depends too on what they decide to do with it within the app, you
And
know.
that's not breaking this high here, and that's not breaking above this resistance here, here, and here. So I mean, that's completely fucking reasonable.
Yeah.
But like you said, if you wait, instead of buying it here and maybe getting that 45% move, if you wait and buy it back in the zone, you could be looking at more like a 66% move. So, and what are we showing? Even on the daily chart, what are we showing? We need to cool the fuck off.
100%, yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean it can't come back down and still be in this range, hold the higher low, be somewhere closer to neutral, and then come back up again and be completely reasonable over time.
Yeah, it's also going to depend on what the team announces in the next few days. I think they have a big announcement on the 20th, so I'll be watching for price action on that day too.
Nice.
But we'll see. I mean, I'm bullish on that long term anyway, so,
Right.
But short term, yeah.
Disney NFTs and shit. Yeah. It could
Disney, Marvel, first appearance ever of that IP. Verifiable on the blockchain forever through all of time. No big deal. But not financial advice. Everybody's looking in here. Check it out first.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it, Mike.
For sure. Anything else anybody wants to look at or go over before we wrap up?
I haven't yet really used the stop loss function. Could you go over its how to use it?
So in the in the manual trade, you mean?
Well, we'd be setting the stop loss on the exchange, right?
Right. But do you mean how to calculate it, or
oh no, I get how to calculate it now, but would you then recommend just watching a video on how to set up your stop loss for the actual DEX trade?
Yeah. Yes.
Gotcha.
It'll be similar.
Hands up
between all of them. Yeah, it'll be similar between all of them, but they'll all have their individual function. And some of them so some of them you can set up to say, if I buy Ethereum at 1810, take profit at 1830, set my stop loss at 1779. And it'll do all that before it even has it. Now, some of them you'll have to say buy Ethereum at 1807. Once you have that Ethereum, you now have it. Now you can go in and say, okay, sell it when it hits 1830, or sell it when it hits 1779. So it's either going to sell the Ethereum you just bought, get out of it at that price, and just say you know whatever your losses are, you accepted, you lost $20 when it hits this price. Or it's going to sell it and take you profit at 1830. If that makes sense. So depending on the exchange, some you can set it for take profit and stop loss before you actually own it or actually have it. Some of them you have to actually have it before you can then add the stop loss and take profit. That's where the trading view and the alerts can be big time too. So, you can you could go set this buy on Solana. You can say, okay, buy Solana when it gets here at 2270, right? Boom, you have an alert. That lets you know, hey, you bought Solana at 2270 this 4 hour long. So if I buy into that 4 hour long, now that I got the alert to let me know I'm in it, okay, I'm willing to, you should know this beforehand, but you'll calculate, you're willing to risk the $20. You already knew your take profit. You know your stop loss. But now, boom, you got your alert. Okay, now I can go set my take profit. I can go set my stop loss.
Or yeah, done deal.
For sure, man. Fucking risk management is very important. If you don't understand it, it's something I just highly recommend looking into, because risk management, it is a strategy, but it's more so an understanding, right? Do you really understand what 1-to-1 means? Do you understand what 1 to 1.5 means? Do you understand by buying it at this price and setting your stop loss here that your stop loss is getting tighter with the more Solana you buy, because you're only willing to risk $20? So just reviewing this and understanding it, and just understanding what risk management is, what risk to reward is. Like I said, you can do that too with a tool, but learning how to do it. What's the tool at? Learning how to do it, again, this can add just another step of what you need to learn in. Okay, so I'll set my profit here. So if I want to have at least that 1.2, there's 1.2. So my stop loss would have to be at this price, 22.23. Now, how much? That's if whatever price I'm using. That doesn't tell me how much to buy or anything else. This is just telling me I could earn 2.3% or lose 1.9%. So the risk to reward calculator actually tells you more because okay, I only want to lose $20. So it'll tell you the exact amount of Solana you need to buy. Tells you more than, okay, here's my percentages. Now, what percentage? 1.9 of $100 equals what? Okay, 1.9 of $120 equals what? Like, so again, Sile just created this to make it even easier to just
and the ratios are just like your chances essentially of it executing successfully.
your ratio is your risk. So if your risk to reward. So if you watch this number right here, if I bring my stop loss up, the greater my reward is getting, the less my risk is, right? So a 1-to-1 right there is a 1-to-1. It's a coin flip, right? It's saying this trade could be a coin flip if that's what you're willing to lose and your percentage. Now, if you want to get at least that 1.2 out of it, you can move this up to 1.2, right? That's your risk to reward. Now, it also had the entry price down here at the bottom. So you see where it'll tell you stop loss. So that's 1-to-1. That's 1 point. So this is 1-to-2, which me personally, I always want at least a 1-to-2 risk reward. I always want to gain at least twice as much as I'm willing to lose minimum, right? So if this is my max gain for this call, I want this to say at least 2. So my stop loss would be 22.27. But I like it to be at least 3 most of the time. Like 2 is a bare minimum for me. So 3. So my stop loss would be here at 22.37. My reward would be here at 23.18. Is that what it called for? No. How did I get that? 23.18. 23.75. I might have accidentally moved it. I think I moved that by accident. So that makes way more sense as to the numbers it's calling. So right here is a 2-to-1. So I'm standing to gain twice what I'm willing to lose, right? I'm willing to lose $20. So this is telling me, okay, if I'm willing to lose $20, meaning I gain 2 times that, $20 loss or a $40 gain, by 26.27 sold at 22.573. Stop loss 21.82. Take profit 23.75.
Yeah, that definitely clears it up. I appreciate it.
For sure. I have more than the free plan. But like I said, the free it allows me to add more indicators, which you can see I literally only have one on right now. And that's these volume bars right here. That's oh, I have the RSI down here. Yeah. So I only have 2 indicators on, and I think you can use up to 3 on the free version. Then you have your alerts. And I think you can only have 3 alerts also, where with this I can add as many alerts as I want. For sure. And all you do is you go up here, so this is, I made frogs fuck. This is, so I just click add. And I type in, if I want to put in the Ecomi. So add. And now Ecomi was added down here on my list for frogs fuck. So you can create a list of, what are just like, I have one that's Thor. What are the coins that I was trading in Thor? So I know it's only Thor calls if I'm looking at these. You know what I mean? That's why I made Frogs Fuck Friday a completely separate thing. So I know after we leave, I don't touch these charts. You know what I mean? These are just in my Frogs Fuck. But yeah, you can, I believe, use up to 3 indicators and set 3 alerts with the free view. Really, there's nothing. Get the fuck out of here with this magnet shit. There's really nothing I've done on here that you can't do with the free version. So you can learn to draw all the boxes, everything. You have your different up here, your different lines. I pretty much just use trend line unless I'm doing a horizontal ray to set an alert on. But I pretty much just use a trend line where you just put the dot wherever you want and then move the dot wherever you want. Then you can grab it and move it, or you can move the whole. Let go, bitch. Or you can grab the whole line and move it as you need. I should figure out how to create one and do that. Thank you. Good idea. But I highly recommend getting at least the free version. Yeah. And if you start making money trading and using Thor and it's making you money, you may find, hey, it's worth me now paying for to add additional alerts for more pairings since, we're offering more and more pairings. So you don't have to stick to just the 3, whatever you choose to do. Let me log in real quick to Auto Thor. And we'll take a look at what the contract has been doing.
Yeah, Mo, the goal is to have all the calls, all the pairing. I mean,
Right. Look, and that's what's awesome about the Pro is being able to what the Pro, you can say, okay, 5%. You can have all the calls that give you at least 5%. Or you're only interested in longs. You're not ready to start shorting and figuring all that yet. You want to know just what are all the laws? Oh, I was going to ask about that. Does that check all and boom? I was literally going to tell Sal, hey, we need a check all button. We got. Yeah, I mean, well, this is the thing. That's a small update. Things like this, SIO, that's why SIO needs SIO Saturday to update us, because small things like that get updated all the fucking time. And yeah, we're just going to continue to try to make this more and more friendly. That's why I have the active, the waiting, the risk management next to all of them. Yeah, but you can turn on and off what you want. So you can say, I only want trades at 10% that are going to give me 10% or more to buy. And here you go. Buy link at 5.89 and sell it at 6.7. You'll get 14.49%. Actually, that 14.49% is more calculated at probably the 5.73, the lower end, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So you could easily, well, much more easily go set a call for each of these. And honestly, you'd only need to set, like, let's look at each. If you're setting calls for shorts, I don't right now need to have an alert for every single one of these. I can have an alert on this first short. And okay, it's triggered. I need to go look at this. I look at, okay, now I can move my alert to up here. Okay, this is triggered. I got the alert. Look at it. Now I can add my alert up here. Or by that time, there's going to be more Thor calls in between. But so you can literally look at whichever. So for, let's see here, there's some in here for ETH. There's not at least 10% for ETH. Say 5 ETH. You can look at whatever the first anonymous bunch for BMD. So I could set the call for obviously this one's going to trigger first because BNB is at a price of 237. So if it drops down, it's going to hit 227 before it hits 221 or hits 218. So I could just have one alert for BNB. So you could have one alert for one short and one long alert for all these if you wanted, and at your price and reward tolerance. It's the power of Thor, man. You can set it up however you wish. Auto Thor, what has it been doing? We currently have 135 in volume. When we left off last time, we were, I think, right at 59-60%. Which it looks like we're still pretty much at that same point. Solana has dipped. We were at, I think, 11% here last time, but Solana has taken a bit of a dip. You can see even the momentum and everything's kind of been dwindling down, but you can see the buy signals and then the take profit on the way up. And then Thor has been in buy mode. You can see for a while it's been buying, it's been stocking up. Took a little bit of profit here, probably from one of these lower calls, or maybe even from one of these back here. Took a little bit of profit, but you can see Thor is Thor is stocking up. Thor is accumulating. This is accumulation. So you buy on the way down. No, it's not going to show me further back. But what were we talking about? Buy on the way down, sell on the way up. So we had been buying on the way down before, selling on the way up, right? Buying on the way down, and if it keeps going down, it's going to keep buying, and then it'll sell on the way up.
Yeah, everything took the slump today because the SEC delayed the Bitcoin ETF until 2024, so everything just kind of slumped down after that.
They can fucking eat a dick. It's just, I don't know.
You know how it is.
They're like, we need to push it back below 20,000 again before we fucking make it move. Throw all the FUD you can.
We have to protect investors, Mode. What do you mean, bro? Come on.
Dude, I really do think that they were upset the price did not drop back below 20,000 with, all the FUD that they were hitting us with for a while.
And that just shows the strength of Bitcoin.
I mean, basically, it dropped below 24 for a moment.
Sentiment flips on Bitcoin, it's going to be stupid.
It's going to be stupid.
It's going to be stupid.
Yes. I agree, sir.
The FOMO in this next run is going to be like no other.
So to retest all-time, we were saying it was what, 800% for OMI to retest all-time highs.
Yeah.
We're looking at 133% or thereabouts to retest all-time highs in Bitcoin. But that's
Bitcoin has like some of the best tokenomics. Yeah, exactly.
See, this was a bull run here, and you see how big that was.
Yeah.
This was a bull run here, so if you look comparatively between here and here, so if we see anything like that again, we're probably looking at, Bitcoin up here,
and we're basing that in the US dollar that's losing its buying power over time. It's going to take more dollars to buy Bitcoin.
Well, that's why I think it's really cool that like Thor now and this is what's going to be so powerful about the Thordinals is things like EBTC. Yeah. Being able, so now when you're buying and selling, you're accumulating more Ethereum or you're accumulating more Bitcoin. And if ETH is going up in price and Bitcoin is going up in price, and you're accumulating more of one of these two assets, you're basically compounding, right? Yeah, Thordinals is going to be fucking dope. Is there anybody in here that doesn't have Thordinal whitelists that are? I mean,
I spent all my money I had on them, bro.
Yeah, I think last week, they mentioned 2 weeks ago. So will we be notified when for the mint for those who are whitelisted?
Yeah, we'll let you know when the mint is and all that kind of shit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no better utility than stacking sats.
Yeah, dude, just making more Bitcoin.
Dude, you are not lying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to do shit and I get more sats. There's no better utility for an NFT anywhere else.
I can't wait until there's a contract like this, what's this we see here? Anybody notice that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I actually noticed that earlier this week, and I was like, "Wait, is this a glitch or something?"
I'm just saying. Imagine if somehow there was the power to have the auto contract of Sol BTC, so you're always accumulating more Solana, or you're always accumulating more Bitcoin.
Yes, please. Thank you. Come again.
Let's just say I've asked Andy about this since I believe the day I met him, which was a year ago.
That's like 10 years in NFT world, man.
I know, right? Yeah. But this was something I was asking when before I was even working with cyber frogs or anything. Like back when I had one frog and was just looking at using auto Thor,
and now look at you.
Right?
You're a whale frog.
Damn right.
Well
up to get those taxes down, boy.
Yep. Oh, trust me. Yep. I get it.
Pay less in taxes.
More gains, man. Just the difference in that. Like, just the difference in that. Sorry to cut you off. Like, that's gonna pay off paying for the frogs. Like,
right. Exactly.
Like just the tax difference.
Yeah. So reducing my taxes by being a whale, reducing my taxes to only 5%. And again, this is only tax on your profits.
Yeah.
So for those not using auto Thor, it doesn't cost you anything except the 750 Kira, which is approximately $4.20 right now. So it costs you $4.20 to open a position.
Yeah.
Then it only taxes you on your profits. So you pay $4.20 and then it accumulates for you. Since this is 61 days, so in approximate 29 days, it's earned me 9.1%.
Wait, where does it show you how long the contract's been in its duration?
Right here, it's a 90-day contract.
Shit. It's just small on the screen.
About 62 days.
Okay.
So, yeah. So when I put $9,000 in between Sol and USDC, and that is currently worth 9,830, meaning I've made 9.1%, and it's taking $40 out in taxes.
Is there a way for you to tell, if you've went up in Sol amount since you?
So, well, you'd have to,
because I know you went up in USD value.
You could look at and that's one of the things that is different is you're talking about what you're buying, right?
Yeah.
So if you bought in at 50 when this was 50-50 and it charged you 50% USD and 50% Solana, and now you get out and you're getting essentially 40% back and 60%, you have more buying power in Sol, right? That's why that number and when you buy in is kind of skewed. So if you bought into the contract somewhere up here, it's saying, you're at a negative because look how much Solana's gone down.
Yeah, but you're at a negative USD. Is that what you're saying?
And buying.
Yeah.
So when it hits that pump and goes up and up and up, when you would get back here to price break even,
you DCA'd in, so you're up.
You would be well in profit.
Yeah.
Because it was buying down and selling up. So even though Solana's back at the same price you bought in, you're in profit.
Yeah.
So that's why it's what it's saying here is if I liquidated all my Sol right now, even
that's
though
USD value.
Even though it's buying at this price.
Yeah.
I lose my buying power. But if I were to liquidate right now, I made $815, and $40 of that $815 I pay into taxes.
Yeah, you made pretty much 9% in 29 days or 28 days.
Yep,
that's pretty crazy.
And And right before this dip, I was up 11%. It was 11%. So,
yeah, just another opportunity to DCA.
well, wait until this meter moves up toward the better best, and that's when you DCA, boy.
IZ.
Yep.
Where's my notepad?
And this is cool too. When you say I want to put in 500 USD, it'll tell you how much of that is in Sol and how much of that is in USD, because Thor is smarter than just putting in 50-50 like most liquidity pools.
Mm-hmm.
If it's saying it's time to buy, it wants more USD from you for more buying power.
I see. Yeah.
Or it'll say we missed the time to buy. I want more Sol from you, so I have it to sell. Right. So, and it'll give you you can swap and convert right here. So let's say you just have all you have is 100 Solana, or all you have is 500 USD. Let's just say that all you have is 500 USD. Well, you click on it and it say, I need 207 USD and I need 12.27 Sol. So you could go up here to swap and swap that USD to that amount of Sol, and then have it to enter the contract. But yep,
Thor is OP as fuck.
Been accumulating. It hit one sell point here. And if we hold the higher low, it's probably going to start selling again. If it dips, if you look at how much it was buying in this range, I'm sure it'll be buying in that range again. But all right, we've been going 2.5
Appreciate all the
hours.
time, Mode.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys joining. You guys that are still spending your time here, it makes it worth it. Like I do enjoy this with you guys.
I made a post just because, like, literally, that's not even just to, like, get anything about it. That's just giving you your props. This is truly, like, you doing this. I said it in that post, is more utility than literally 95% of what projects give you now. And it's just you spending your time doing this shit, man. So seriously, for real, thanks.
Utility is a reason greater to hold than floor price. And
100%.
Just with the floor price and what you're holding by a frog, you get to learn. So
yeah, man,
I will.
hats off. Definitely hats off to you.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you joining in and asking. And like I said, if you guys review the Trader Tuesday, you can always post questions in there, like a forum. I'll answer, and I will do a little write up talking about where we just left off with Bitcoin, where we just left off with Solana, and the calls that we got, and like saying, hey, this call may still be in play and still be valid, even though it's not showing on Thor. We'll see what happens. But this is our new valid call. I'll go through and talk about all these things. So the charts are exactly right here. How you see them is exactly how they'll be pictures taken and how the write-ups will be and put in the review. But yeah, appreciate the fuck out of all y'all. Frogs fuck, and we'll be back on for Friday. So,
Okay.
Oh yeah, bro.
Peace out, everybody.
Later.
Peace out.
Thank you.